This is LA's first.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome to the Dr. Erin Show. We're all about manifestation, transformation, and breakthroughs. It's time to claim your birthright of prosperity, vitality, and love. So grab your tea or coffee because together we're awakening the world. May you live your truth. What is a spiritual coach? Let's break this on down. You may be asking yourself, what is a traditional life coach versus a spiritual coach versus all the different types of coaches in the industry? First of all, I just want to say that I'm super honored to take this journey with you because I believe that there is a very big misunderstanding of how important a spiritual coach truly is. We have all different types of people that come to us for coaching. I have dealt with high-end celebrities, top CEOs. I have trained single women, people with different, business issues, to people dealing with addiction issues, to people really just being stopped in life, people being overwhelmed, confused, all different things. But the reality is that every last one of them needs spiritual coaching. And so we're going to break on down what is a spiritual coach. The reality is that spirituality is the reality that everything comes from spirit, everything comes from mind, everything comes from consciousness, everything comes from the one source. And so spiritual coaches really clear out the soul, release limited beliefs, reprogram the subconscious mind, transform trauma, and help people restore the truth of who they are, birthing their truth, birthing their purpose, birthing their legacy of life, being able to put boundaries on people, places, and things, and accept people and places and things so they can truly live in their bliss and live in their power, live in their passion, and live in their purpose. So spirituality is the reality that everything is created by spirit, your higher self. So anywhere in life where you are struggling, anywhere in life where you're not feeling empowered, anywhere in life where you are feeling confused or overwhelmed or sad or lonely or upset or any of those emotions, they're all being created by you. You are an almighty, powerful spiritual being. And the moment that you even consider yourself to be anything other than the I am, you are setting universal law into motion. And in this, I recognize the truth of who you are. And so as a spiritual coach, what we are truly doing is we're revealing the truth of who you are. Transformation actually happens the moment that someone actually recognizes that they created their perspective and the circumstances of their life, because everything comes from identity, which identity creates beliefs. Beliefs create thoughts, and thoughts create feelings, and feelings create the circumstances of your life. So in this, let's just recognize that really, what are we doing when we're spiritually coaching somebody, when somebody's come to us, whether that be through a program, whether it be through one-on-ones, whether it be through a retreat, whether it be through whatever. The reality is what we're really doing is we're having people come from being the effect, being the victim, feeling like they're not cause over their life, to becoming the cause, becoming the creator of their life, becoming somebody who realizes that they can create, manifest, and demonstrate what they desire. And that's the confusing part of life, because why do we know what we're supposed to do, but we don't do it? So we have to break on down, how do you become somebody who's the cause of your life instead of the effect and the victim? So we have two primary things that we're doing in our spiritual awakening and dealing with clients as spiritual coaches. Number one, we are pulling back all the limited beliefs, all of the traumas, everything at a soul level. And the soul consists of all the energetic ties of your DNA and all of your lineage, all of your ancestors, everything, all the considerations of anything other than the I am. So all spiritual awakening is restoring the true identity. So the first thing we're doing is doing this by things like the E4 trauma method, by things like releasing all the emotions, neutralizing it at a DNA level, because epigenetics now teaches us that what happens in trauma over many lifetimes, it's actually showing that we have the memory, the good memory and the bad memory is stored in our DNA. And whenever there is a trauma, they call it a tag, and it actually bounds the DNA, and you actually are not able to perceive as much. You're not as capable of doing things, and you actually condense yourself. So I always like to think of it like if there's a sun up above, which is your true consciousness, which is a part of you that's really all powerful, almighty, and has all innovation, it has all capability to handle anything. If there's clouds in between you and the sun, those are what would be called limited beliefs. And in the limited beliefs, that is what restricts your ability to actually be more able to be able to perceive, to be able to innovate, to be able to do anything, handle things like upsets in your relationships, like the economy changing, like, different health issues. You're not able to cope with it, right? So everything we're doing in our spiritual awakening with our clients is we are releasing those limited beliefs, transforming the trauma, reprogram the subconscious mind, and we're first getting our clients to restore the truth of who they are, taking the veil off of their consciousness so they can really realize the truth of who they are, which is one with everything. And also really truly the source that created all of life, the source that created the entire universe, coming back to that truth that you always have choice, no matter what the hand you were dealt, you always have choice. There is a great coach, his name is Nick, and he has no arms and no legs. And he is one of the biggest motivational coaches there is. And I mean, he obviously has a deck of cards he's been dealt that someone would say, well, that's not fair, or there's limitation to that. But the truth is, just like Thomas Troward teaches us, there's infinite equations and ways of dealing with the deck that you're dealt. So when you know the I am, you have all choice and possibility. The second thing that we're doing with our clients is we are birthing their unique divine expression and their unique truth. We're birthing our clients' truth. And how we do this is really by getting out of the way. When we do that trauma work and we transmute the energy, naturally, trauma minus emotion equals wisdom. And someone's truth is naturally born when they transmute and have triumph over their trauma. They're birthing their truth by actually all the negative things in their life, like where they're upset, where they're confused, all those things. When that energy and emotions are transmuted, actually, the client's truth is born. And so your unique divine expression is born of really two primary things, which is all the suffering that's happened on your DNA for you to actually be the neutralization. You are universal law. So you actually have a divine calling. It's already written on your DNA. And also there's a part of you that has a unique expression. It's the gift of you. It's that place where you lose track of time. It's that part of you that is that artist, that creative factor, that place within you that no one else can do what you do. And so again, as spiritual coaches, helping our clients do spiritual awakening, we are helping them birth the truth of who they are, which is the I am. And then we have them birth their truth, which is their unique divine expression. There's only one of you. There's only one of your client. And that is what we're here to do. You are the fractal of the divine. There's only one of you in the entire universe. And the greatest gift you can give to yourself and to the world is the most authentic expressed you. And so these are really the two primary things that we're doing with our client. So as a spiritual coach in Soulciété and New Thought Global, we teach universal law. We teach the creative process. We are in the New Thought movement, which is ancient thought. And it really is the metaphysics of how we create. And so we're constantly educating our clients and helping them understand how they've created all their limitations, all their scarcity, all their lack, and that same energy can create abundance and love and vitality. So if you take a look at universal law or the creative process, in general, we have kind of like, it looks like a big circle with a V that goes down. And this is the universal chart of how we create. And at the top of the, what we call open at the top of this kind of circle, when it's open, it really is the creative conscious mind, that part of you that can create, decide, choose. That's the conscious mind. And that goes down into kind of the middle, which is what we consider the subconscious mind, which is conscious as well, but it's subconscious. It has a great intelligence in it. It beats the heart. It doesn't, the mathematical chemical equations in your body that no mathematician on this planet could do. It is so intelligent. It's what we consider the soul. It also has all the great wisdom, but it also has all the trauma. It also has all the limitations. It has that yin and yang. It has that good and bad. It has universal law in it, right? And out of that, at the bottom, we consider the effect, the form, the body of life. So there's always spirit at the top, the soul in the middle, and the body at the bottom. And this is just a demonstration. We recognize it's all one thing going on. But the truth is that universal law, we have the choice. We're in a relative, it's a relative creation. We can create heaven or we can create hell. We can create division or we can create our divine union. We can create all the above in this one thing. It's the outpicture of every last drop of life. And this is a creative process. So as we're coaching our clients, we're helping them understand that when they were in that traumatic incident and decided, I'll never love again, I'm not enough, something's wrong with me, that is a creation, just like creating, $1 billion or love or the greatest trip of your life or the greatest expression. It's all creation. Universal law doesn't know the difference between a penny and $1 billion. It doesn't know the difference between love or hate. It doesn't know the difference in anything. It just creates. It just says yes. That's all universal law. That's all the creative process. It's all it does. And the choice is you. As they say, if you think you can or you think you can't, so it is. The point is that whatever it is that you put your mind to, if you focus on what you don't want, you'll get more of what you don't want. If you focus on what you do want and how to create that, that will be created. So we have choice. The point of what we're doing for our clients and in spiritual coaching is we are restoring choice. We're restoring the choice to know that you can create harmony or chaos. The choice is yours. You can create success or you can create struggle. It's the same amount of energy. It's just a creation. It's really what you're believing and what you're focusing on. So what is the secret to success for our clients, right? What is it truly? If we really want success for our clients, we want them to be able to, create the life that they love. We want them to help them become the CEO of their personal professional life. We want them to have thriving relationships. We want them to have, vitality. We want them to have joy, and we want them to have whatever it is that they choose for themselves. What is the secret? Well, as a spiritual coach, what we know for sure is that the primary work is to reprogram the subconscious mind, because the primary work is getting out of the way. The primary work is releasing the resistance within the soul. It's kind of like a voltage in, electricity. If there's a lot of resistance, right, it's not going to work very well. So we want the flow. We want to have the conduit. We want to flow so that we can light up the greatest light bulb. And it's the same with you. In order to light up your life, we need to get out of the way. We need to get that resistance out of the way so you can fully create and flow. Life is a flow currency. Money is a currency. Love is a currency of giving and taking, all of it. But when we are scared, when we resist it, when we hold on to things, when we cling on to things, when we're driven off of resistance, it doesn't work. So the primary work we do as spiritual coaches is reprogram the subconscious mind, because we recognize that probably less than 3% of what we're able to do is from the conscious mind. Everything else is in the subconscious mind. We don't have to beat the heart. We don't have to think when we walk. We don't have to do these things, because we have this great intelligence within the subconscious. But at the same time, in the subconscious, we also have all that trauma, all those limited beliefs, all of that stuff that's holding us back at the exact same time. So we like to think of what we're doing with our clients like a computer analogy, right? So when I have a client come to me and they have issues, right? Either they're dealing with, codependency, dysfunctional relationships. They're dealing with not being able to break through in their money and prosperity in their business. They're, having health issues or just sadness, upsets, just are feeling stuck in their life. It's kind of like a computer, computer has all kinds of issues, right? We're just exactly the same. we have all kinds of issues when it comes to our computer. You can have that spinning ball. You can have, not have good connection to Wi-Fi. You can have too many tabs open. You can have a virus on your computer. We're identical to computers. We live in a binary universe. It's all energy and it's all code. So if you take a look at the computer, you can, touch it, and that's considered the hardware. So just like you can touch your body, and that's the hardware. Okay. Then if you go inside, obviously, you go into the software of your computer. It's just like it's your beliefs. Okay. Whatever beliefs is running the program, right? It's like you can only do what you can do with a computer based off of its software. You can only do what you can do as a person based off your beliefs. And then there's memory. So your computer have good memory, bad memory. In us, we have cell epigenetics, right? We have memory in every aspect of us, in all the DNA, the good, the bad, all of it. And we have Akashic records and we have memory of everything, right? So you can have the greatest computer, you can have great software, you can have great memory, but guess what? It won't do anything without the operator. You, my friend, are not your body. You're not your beliefs. You're not your programming. You're not your epigenetics or memory. You are the operator. You get to create through this and infinite ways. And so we want to help you restore and have the best computer, basically. So just like computer problems, the spinning ball slows down, get viruses, glitches, needs software updates, poor internet connection, just like that. Human problems. We get overwhelmed. We have confusion. We're not efficient. We have upset, sadness, maybe even depression, limited beliefs, all of our BS, and poor internet connection. We're not, getting to source, tapping in, right? Same exact problems. So what are we doing with our clients? We are clearing out all the cache. We're shutting down all those tabs that are still open, that are trauma incidences and things that are still playing in the background, like puppet strings in our life. We are getting them connected into source through daily spiritual practices and spiritual mind treatment. And we're doing all kinds of work on their limited belief systems. And we're giving them tools and things, and doing worksheets with them and processes for them to handle upsets and sadness. And yes, if they're depressed, and sometimes we have to have people go get medical help as well. Or if they're dealing with addiction, sometimes we refer them to, intake programs if we're not able to handle it as a coach. Okay. So we have to recognize that, how do we reprogram the subconscious mind as a coach for our clients? There's really only 3 ways that we program the subconscious mind. Just like a computer, just like a binary system, there is a negative, a neutral, which is 0, and a positive. That's the only way that we reprogram or program the subconscious mind. Through negative, all the negative programming is what we consider limited beliefs. And what we're talking about is the negative charge comes in via the meaning that we put on things. So the subconscious mind is programmed via frequency and vibration, right? So if we're in a really high state of a negative emotion in a traumatic incident, or really upset, and we decide something, we decide a lie, a limited belief. I'm not enough. I'll never love again. I'll never trust again. I don't want to live, whatever it is. And that actually goes into the subconscious mind and into the neurological system as an engram. And so that is the negative way of programming the subconscious mind. So in order to release that negativity, we need to release the limited beliefs through E4 trauma method and neutralizing those energetic charges. And we go to the 0 factor. And that again is going to the I am. Remember at the very beginning, what are we doing with our clients? We're taking them and bringing them to a spiritual awakening, to the I am, to the all potential. And that's where the 0 factor is. That's where we get them through E4 trauma method, through their daily spiritual practice, getting them to the I am. And then we want to take them to the positive, meaning that it's great to get blissed out and go meditate in the Himalayas or get into that God factor, but we want to actually be expressed and be able to be a human and have 2 feet on this Mother Earth and live an expression, a unique divine fractal expression. And so we want to go to the positive. We want to birth someone's unique divine truth, their unique expression. We do this through affirmative mind treatment and declarations and all kinds of way of birthing our clients' truth so that they can live their unique truth. So as with a client, in general, I've worked with clients for the year, for $100,000. I've worked when I first started working years and years ago, I think I began charging something like $1,500 for 12 sessions. And then it went up from there, and then it went up from there, and so on and so forth. But regardless, I use and we train in Soulciété, and we work with clients through a 12 step process of Truth Triangle. It's a step-by-step system to help our clients restore their power, to birth their passion and birth their purpose, and to live their truth through their daily spiritual practice. So we're restoring the true identity and the divine power. We're getting clarity on the core values and birthing the passion and birthing the purpose and leaving the legacy. That's what we're doing with our clients. So, 12 weeks is generally the minimum I'd recommend working as being coach or being a coach, one or the other, whether you are getting coaching or becoming a coach. It's important to have a process. It's important to have a formula. And this is based, there's 12 processes in this. There's 9 processes, but there's 12 kind of sessions, if you will. And this was something that was born over decades of work of, really distilling down all the great foundations. And after, going through so many different developments, I was like, what are we really doing here? What are we really doing when we are doing spiritual awakening and birthing someone's truth and really restoring and dealing with all the aspects of life? Because guess what? If you're human, you need to deal with trauma. If you're human, you need to deal with learning how to place boundaries and getting clear of your core values. If you're human, you have a purpose. And so all of these things, this was the formula that I came up with that really works, and it works really well. And it's called the Truth Triangle. It's a step-by-step system, 12-week process with 9 processes and 12 weeks of different things with it. So the first of the Truth Triangle is restoring the power. As a spiritual coach, what are we doing again? We're releasing the limited beliefs. We're transforming the trauma, and we're reclaiming the infinite power that I am. Always, always, this is the most important, the most profound results I've had for clients is doing the E4 trauma method and having them really, really understand that in that traumatic incident, what's so profound about it is they all of a sudden realize that they decided the limited belief, and that limited belief has been playing out their life, maybe even for decades. And in that moment, they restore their power. And it's the most profound thing to witness. It's so beautiful. We do this through the E4 trauma method, which is a process I came up with and why I got the Walden Wisdom Award next to Oprah Winfrey, Greg Braden, and Michael Bernard Beckwith. And there's 4 steps of the E4 trauma method. Please don't try this at home on yourself unless you are trained to facilitate it, or if you're with a trained facilitator, because there's 4 steps, but how you go through those over and over again is very, very much something to be practiced and to hone down and make sure people aren't left in the middle of traumatic parts. Okay. So the 4-step process comes down to, the first process is really re-experiencing it as if it's happening right now. From a spiritual perspective, there's no such thing as time. Every traumatic incident that's ever happened is living in you right now and playing out in your life right now. So we go and re-experience it because the mental pictures track at a certain time that are related to that. Step number 2 is what we call, for E, the second E, is evaluation, but it's actually non-evaluation. So state the traumatic incident without any evaluation or judgment. Because what happens is actually why trauma stays on the track is actually the meaning that you place around it, right? You're such a creative spiritual being. The moment that you even put a meaning, a positive or negative meaning on something, you instantaneously create it into existence. So it has to stay on the track based off of the re-energizing of it at some level. Step number 3 is emotions, E for emotions, which means allow yourself to fully feel the emotions without like any resistance to the emotion. Remember? So, and allow yourself to fully feel it as is in the emotion, fully expressing it. And one thing we're not taught in our culture is to feel emotion without putting meaning around it. And it's actually really can be very challenging. As a coach, you have to really step your clients through this, or if you're wanting to get coached, you have to really be walked through this, because the trauma won't release, and you won't have the big epiphany. You won't have that neutrality if you're not able to hold yourself in the emotion without putting meaning on it. And it's very challenging. It's something that the coaches are developed in to learn how to do. And then step 4, the fourth E is enlightenment. So what limited beliefs did you command into your subconscious mind during this traumatic incident? And what new declarations do you want to make for your life? So what happens is we want to spot commands. Generally, people have 3 big commands that really play out in their life. For example, when my parents were divorced when I was little, my dad came back and visited. And when he was leaving, I was so hysterical. I was so upset. And I was watching him drive away. And I just declared to myself, like, something's wrong with me. I'm not lovable, and love abandons, love leaves. And it just played out like puppet strings in my life forever. And it wasn't until I went back and just as is it and realized that my dad absolutely loved me then and he loves me now. And he was never abandoning me. He was just trying to find his own way because he didn't have a lot of guidance himself. So in that, the new declaration, right, is I am love. I am love and I don't have to abandon, because what would happen is I would just abandon before I was abandoned, right? So we want to go over this process over and over again. And the difference between E4 trauma method and other trauma methods is that other trauma methods are amazing. There's some great processes out there. They generally help the triggers and they help kind of, get people to where they're not reacting in life. But the E4 trauma method has a very specific intention of birthing the actual lesson out of it, the wisdom out of it, the purpose out of it. We say again that trauma minus emotions equals wisdom. So out of the E4 trauma method, you birth a new wisdom. You transmute the energy of the emotions and you birth something. You birth something inspired action or your purpose or your calling or whatever it is, the enlightenment. And so you make a new declaration for yourself and your life. So trauma minus emotions equals wisdom. And generally, if I'm working with a client for 12 sessions, generally I will do E4 trauma method for all 12 of the sessions for the first part. And then we'll go on to the other 8 other processes and homework and things like that. So the second part of the truth triangle, the second side, remember the first is power, birthing the power through E4 trauma method and restoring all that. The second is getting clarity on passions. And this is really important. This is why, dysfunctional relationships, we want to figure out what it is that works for you versus somebody else. This is why you're going to have a certain purpose and legacy to birth out of the passions and so on and so forth. So getting clarity on your core values and commitments, creating boundaries on people, places, and things, and accepting people and places and things. In fact, the only source of true suffering is wanting people and places and things to be different. So we're also birthing the unique divine individual. You have a specific life. What you like in relationship, what you like and where you want to live, what you like and what you want to do, and what you like is so unique to you. And most people don't know themselves. Most people just get upset, overwhelmed, all that. But we actually take you through processes to birth your true passion. We take you through things like when you're getting upset, it's actually because it's telling you, your emotions are telling you what you like and don't like, right? When you're confused, it's actually because there's a commitment in there, but you're committed to something else as well. So you actually have to get clarity on what you're truly committed to, and it actually untangles that quandary and that confusion. Things like that, we go through processes to birth your specific truth, your passions. And then the third side of the truth triangle is birthing your purpose. And this is such an honor because I know for me, for so many years, I was searching for what is my purpose. And I knew inside of me, I knew there was something that I was supposed to do in this lifetime. So we take the triumphs of your past life trauma, and whether you believe in past lives or not doesn't matter, because the truth is that all lives live in your DNA. So it's your epigenetics, right? So you're trying for your past life trauma via regressions. And we do that through E4 trauma methods. It's another section of it to do past life traumas. And then creating your life purpose statement, and then decide to create your legacy. And this is like the icing on the cake. It is where people just simply fall in love with their lives and really become really powerful. Even if I'm working with the top CEO or top celebrity, when they get really, really clear of the purpose and why they're doing what they're doing even more, they end up, falling back in love with their careers, falling back in love with their life. And it's such a pleasure. And we teach and take our clients through coaching as spiritual coaches, the life purpose formula, which is triumphs plus passion plus skill set equals purpose. So your triumphs really come out of your trauma work. You can't, I've worked with thousands of people of helping them discover their purpose formula. And if they're confused, there's only one purpose, and the purpose is to do the inner work. Because once you do your inner work, your triumph and your purpose will be born. So your triumphs plus your passion plus your skill set equals your purpose. So your triumphs, again, is what's the hardest thing you've ever been through. And what's the takeaway? And if you still have any emotion around what happened to you or feel like the victim of anything, it means you have not done all of your trauma work. Once you completely feel a cause and recognize that you created your own trauma by the meaning you put on it, and it doesn't mean someone wasn't a victim and someone wasn't a perpetrator, but that means that the meaning that you put on it was really what actually caused the trauma, right? But the triumph, so birthing that through the E4 trauma method and understanding passion. What would you do if you won $100 million? Not what would you buy? What would you do? We want to discover and inquire into that through some processes. And then what's your skill set, right? Where do you lose track of time? What are you really good at? Do you love working, in groups? Do you love working one-on-one? Do you love art? Do you love, travel? Do you love, simplicity? What do you love? What's your skill set? Where is it that you're really good? Maybe you're a connector. Maybe you're a visionary. Maybe you are a research junkie. Maybe you're whatever these passions and skill sets are. This is what births the purpose. And this is such an honor. And so through this, so I'll go back a little bit. Sorry about that. Through this, in our spiritual mastery, we have a 12-step system. So whether you're getting coached or whether you are learning to become a coach, we have a process, okay? And so this is the process you'd go through, whether you're getting coached or whether you're becoming a coach. You are reprogramming the subconscious mind, getting educated around it and doing processes around it, okay? You're discovering your truth. Really, what is the ultimate truth versus your relative truth? Going through your life inventory, recognizing where do you need to make amends? Where do you need to forgive yourself? All that stuff. And then healing your traumas, of course, is something we do the entire way through E4 trauma method. Shifting your identity, huge. Releasing that old limited story, recreating your new story for yourself. People are like in dramas of their life. They're like in a play, but they forgot that they created the play themselves, right? Unleashing your self-empowerment. Anywhere you are feeling disempowered, it's because you've handed your power over to something outside of yourself. And then where you confused or having problems or having quandaries, we deal with that specifically through processes, teaching you these tools. Week number 8 is all about upsets and sadness and depression. And obviously, again, if someone's dealing with depression, they need to seek medical help, okay? But these are all the things that you'll go over. You'll go over E4 trauma through the entire time, but you're going to learn all the processes and be taken through the processes. And then values in week 9, values, commitments, and alignment, understanding and birthing your core values. What are you truly committed to? And what do you really want to align with? And then past life regressions, again, whether you believe in past lives or not, doesn't matter. You deal with what's on your track. And it's one of the most fascinating processes of going in through really the imagination and pulling up mental pictures of things that you're really emotional around. And it's really fascinating because some people actually, I've seen clients get some of the biggest aha moments of their entire life through past life regressions, and they didn't even believe in past lives. It was like amazing. Many lives, many masters, right? Week number 11 is birthing your purpose and calling. And then week 12 is your life purpose statement. So you'd be taken through all of this, whether you are getting coached or becoming a coach. And so we really want to discover and unveil, what are your limited beliefs? As a spiritual coach, that is our primary work to discover, because the extent to which you have limited beliefs is the extent to which you're going to experience limitations in your life. The truth is you're an I am, all-knowing, all-powerful, infinite creator. And we're here to restore that for you, with you. You do that as a coach. We're really just asking the questions and being the conduit. As a coach, the most important thing we do is bring our pure consciousness. If you're a coach and you're coaching with Soulciété, the most important thing is that you do all of your inner work so that you can step into, coaching with your clients to have a totally powerful, clear soul. And so we also, of course, it really starts with, what are your limited identities? Getting clear of that, releasing those through all the processes, all the E4 trauma method, reprogram the subconscious mind, and all the above. And then what are your traumas, right? Diving into those, releasing those, neutralizing those, transmuting those so that you can birth your wisdom, birth your truth, birth your purpose and calling. And then what are you passionate about, right? What are your passions? Where do you lose track of time? Where, if you won $100 million, what would you do? How would you spend your time? And so that you can live a life that you love with passion and with all, we're supposed to live with total, just diving into what we really care about in this life. And then how committed are you to doing your inner work? That's really the question. Because whether you're wanting to get coached or whether you are wanting to become a coach, what we found is the greatest coaches that we are our primary client, that we have to do our own inner work. And we only work with highly committed people. And so if you don't get the level of commitment of doing your inner work, then you're wasting your time, because you're going to be suffering for a long time. It really comes down to our own consciousness, every last drop of it. And what is the legacy you want to leave in this lifetime? You have a legacy. And we are infinite, immortal beings. But the truth is that we only have one lifetime in this body, per se. And so what do you hear? What's the difference you want to see on this planet? And that is true spiritual mastery. So what is a spiritual coach? A spiritual coach, for me, is the most important career you can have on this planet. It is such an honor to train and develop spiritual coaches and recognize that our spiritual nature, our subconscious mind, our consciousness is, we live in a mental universe, and everything is outpicturing and reflecting from consciousness. There is only one mind, and you get to use the fractal of it based upon how condensed you use it through all the limitations you have in your soul. So the primary work is to clear out the soul to the I am and birth the unique divine expression. And so this, I just say, thank you so much for all this. You can click the link below, discover more, and it would be an honor, whether you want to get coached or whether you want to become a coach. The choice is yours. But what I know for sure is that this is the most profound, most important work you will ever do in your life. And so I just say, I am so honored. I am so grateful in this divine moment. I know perfection. I know you're healed. I know you're revealed. I know the most expressed you is born. And I just say, all your suffering you've been through, all the strife, all that is not in vain. That all of that you need to go through so that one day, right now, right here, you are born to yourself. You are liberated and you are free. And now you get to play this magical game called life and love every drop of it, because it's always going to have the light, the dark, the good, the bad, the suffering, the joy, and all of it. And to love yourself unconditionally is to love all of life. May you know yourself and may you love yourself unconditionally so that you can fully love all of life and be expressed fully. And on that note, I just say, yes, yes, yes. As together we say, and so it is. Have a beautiful day, and may you live your truth. Thank you for tuning in to Soulciété and Dr. Erin podcast. If you've had a calling to be a spiritual leader or coach, you can go to soulciété.com and check out our free training. If you've received value here, I would love it if you take a moment and give a 5-star review. In exchange, I have a ton of free gifts for you. Grab your free awakening book, 40 guided meditations, and digital manifesting masterclass. I also have a free money meditation and worksheet for you so you can begin to break through your scarcity mindset and claim your birthright of prosperity. You can get all of your gifts and learn about our upcoming transformational events in my bio link in both Instagram and Facebook. That's under drerin.tv, which is DRERIN.tv. Also, I'd love to invite you into our free private community on Facebook under groups called Soulciété. That is facebook.com/groups/Soulciété. That's SOULCIETE. Have a divine day and may you live your truth.